Hey babes, it's Sharonda Isadora and welcome to Brazen Babe Reviews. And during this video, I'll be talking about a book. That book is Borne by L.L. Farmer. Let's get into this thing, shall we?
Devil in a red dress, call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress.
Okay, so as always, I will read the blurb to you guys and then we will get into my bookish thoughts. So here we go. As always, I'll insert the cover somewhere in here, probably on this side, so that you can see it. In your blurb reads as immortal. Immortality sounds romantic, right? You probably heard stories about fairies, werewolves, a vampire or two. But I'm sure you haven't heard stories of someone like me, born into slavery, cursed with immortality, turned into a demon hunter, and that was just the first 18 years of my life. Demon hunter. Demon hunting is already tough work. Finding a dead body at one of their gatherings does not make that work easier. So now I have to solve a murder and fight whatever has the demon world in an uproar. Nope, nothing romantic here. So that is your blurb. Now this story isn't like a paranormal romance. There are mentions of romance in it, of romantic ties and relationships with our main character Nima, but for the most part this is more just like a paranormal story in general, maybe more like a urban paranormal, if we want to be all technical and shit. But so we have Nima, who is our main character, who is a demon hunter, but not just a demon hunter, not just one of the demon hunters, but the demon hunter. Nima was, as the blurb said, Nima was cursed at the age of 18 during her time in slavery. She was in New York when New York was called Manhattan Island. So the gist is, during that time, or the reason why she was cursed is because during that time, there were these rumors of these slave uprisings that happened. And these rumors that were started because these fires started breaking out and no one knew who was doing them or whatever. And of course, the white folks blamed the slaves, and this is how these rumors started. Nima gets caught up in this because she becomes one of the slaves that is accused of being part of this uprising. There was this young white indentured worker, a young white woman who, for the most part, was the main witness in these trials that were being held. And she was the main witness because on a particular night, the slaves were able to go to this tavern and relax, enjoy themselves as much as they can during slavery, child, I guess. And this young white woman worked there, and her and Nima will have these conversations on those nights that they were there. And this woman took those conversations, which were just innocent girl conversations, things about, the men they were going to be with and the lives they were going to have, and da-da-da and da-da-da. So this woman took these stories and kind of like ballooned them into things, that were happening. And it's led to more slaves being murdered, Nima being accused, which before Nima is killed, Nima was actually cursed. And she was cursed because some of the slaves that were killed were descendants of like priestess and priest and things of that nature. And there's this spirit inside of the story called the voodoo. And that spirit is the one that cursed Nima, because that spirit felt that Nima was the reason that these people were taken away from her. So her curse to Nima was, until I get back what I lost, you are now cursed. And now, not that you are cursed with immortality, girl. You are cursed with seeing demons. And guess what, girl? Demons can see you. And guess what? Demons can kill you, girl. They can take your soul. But the way that was explained, I was just trying to figure out, because there were sections saying that she can't be killed, but the demons can take her soul. Like initially the demons were just gonna be able to kill her, but they would be able to take her soul. So I was just like, does that mean her physical body stays in the human realm, and does her soul go to hell? Like, how is that going to work? Because that's just like, girl. But anyway, so this is how this voodoo cursed her. So Nima dies again at a really young age, and Nima ain't ready for these kind of things. She's just like, girl, why am I here? I don't want to be part of this. Just like, what? You know what I mean? So then an angel, these demons during slavery times are after Nima because they know she was initially turned or cursed, and they know she has powers, but she is weak. No one. The thing that got me during the story was like Nima kind of like learned things on her own. Like there was really no one there to teach her how to hunt demons and what kind of demons it was and things of this nature. So Nima really just learned things on her own. But she does run into certain people during certain times of her life that is able to help her. But an angel steps in, Raphael, and he takes part of the curse where the demons are able to kill away from her, but he inputs this task on Nima of being the demon hunter. Like, you, homegirl, I'm going to be the one that's going to kill these demons. They're going to be so fucking scared of you. But Nima, during that time, she's just like, who? Me? Little me? Like, I don't want none of this. But these things are kind of like forced upon her. Nima, it was just Nima and her mother, but Nima also comes from this long line of warrior women, and she comes from, her mother was a priestess, like this really powerful priestess, and so Nima comes from a line of powerful women. So even with this curse, like, she can be killed, but again, she never dies, so she always comes back. Even when she comes back stronger than what she was when she died. It doesn't mean that she's killed all the time. As these years, these eons, centuries, progressed upon her, she has learned to avoid being killed. But, when she first started out, I do believe homegirl was killed a lot. So, but, so this is how Nima becomes cursed. But when we go inside of this story, Nima is in current times, and now she has to solve a murder. She also is visited by one of the demon princes, Baal. Yeah, I think that's how you say it or pronounce it, but it was spelled Baal. But anyway, he visits Nima, and he's telling her, like, girl, you gotta help us. And Nima like, oh, I'm not helping you motherfuckers. I don't like you motherfuckers. I have to kill you people. So why is you in my face? But Nima, and Baal doesn't really like Nima. He he hates her. He actually wants to kill her. And he never had an opportunity to kill her. The first time he was going to try to kill her, Raphael stepped in and was like, no, homeboy. That's our girl. So go on back where you came from. So, he hates Nima, but he is tasked with seeking her out to ask for her help, because there's also a rogue demon going around fucking shit up for the other demons. And it's like, so now they need Nima's help. Nima initially doesn't want to help, but as we read the story, we find out that the murder that she's trying to solve and the rogue demon are tied together. And these two things that are happening that she has to deal with also ties indirectly to Nima. So it's a lot going on in this story. But I like this story. It's so good. The world building is fantastic. I thought L.L. Farmer did a really good job. I really love the jumps in the book, from past to present or present to past, because when we go back in that past, we're learning things about Nima, like how she became immortal, why she became immortal, the people that kind of like affected her life, when she was immortal. So we learn these things about her visiting her past, but in her present, you know, we go in and Nema is not. Nema walks. She comes off, when you read the story, she kind of comes off angry, and for her character, the way she died and what she had to go through, me as a reader, I couldn't be mad at it, because I would be mad too. I'm walking around literally in an 18-year-old body for fucking forever, you know. Nobody really taught me how to fucking demon hunt. They was just like, here, girl, take these weapons, these blessed weapons, you know, and go hunt them demons, you know. And so she literally had to learn things on her own. And then during the time that she died and the times that she saw a lot of suffering of Black people. So Nema is just like, she ain't got time for nobody's shit. She's a very upfront and honest person who is in the body of this 18-year-old woman, and she a girl, and it's just like, you can't be talking to us like that. You know what I mean? And Nina's just like, man, whatever. So during this story, we kind of find out certain characters that even now that help Nina. We have Raina, who has always been by Nina's side. One of the slaves that died during that time, his ancestors are actually people that helped Nema. Nema was, even though she's a demon hunter, she still needs help because she's out kicking demons' asses and taking their names and things of that nature. So she needs someone to gather information, intel, and sometimes help her. And she has, when we go inside of the story, we have Raina, who's helping her now. So there's another part of the story where Nema is dealing with these murders in a rogue demon. She also is dealing with the fact that Raima is ready to retire. She's now 70. She's been with Nema for a long time. So she has to bring in someone to help Nema now, because she's just like, girl, I love you, but I'm tired. Got to go. You know, so they bring in Raina's niece, who is being trained to initially be the one to gather this intel and this information. Another person from this slave's bloodline that is helping Nema. Goddamn. So so again, I love the story. I thought the world building was fantastic. We have these wonderful, wonderful side characters. We not just have Raina and her niece. We have, and it's so funny watching Raina's niece and Nema interact, because the niece, she comes in initially like, I don't believe this shit. Like, yeah, my family always told me that, you know, we party this and did, but the niece is just like, the fuck is going on here? But she initially, you know, starts to help Nema more and more and more. As Raina, Raina in this first book is still pretty much part of Nema's life and helping her as much as she can. But again, we are bringing in this niece so that Raina can eventually take a step back. But we also have an interest of these other characters. We have Raina's partner. Raina is lesbian, so we have interest of Raina's partner Liz, who was chief of police, who is aunt to another character that comes inside of the story, Jason. And Jason kind of like ties to Nema's past as well, because she was involved with him, you know, when he was, you know, a young kid. And she kind of like, when Jason started getting a little bit more serious about their relationship, Nema was like, oh shit, oh no, gotta go. So she ups and leaves. So when Jason sees her again, he's just like, are you wait. Because it's, you know, he's thinking he's seeing maybe the daughter of the girl that he was in love with, that he felt like, you know, that was gonna be his forever. But no, it's actually Nema. And that she's, what I liked about the story, like, you know, sometimes when you, sorry, video cut off. But anyway, what I was saying, sometimes when you go inside these paranormal stories, it's like secrets and da da da. I can't tell you, da da da. But I like that LL Farmer made Nema again this very upfront character. So she proceeds to tell Jason as much as she can about her immortality and why he's looking at her. You know, now that he's now looking at her and she looks the same way that she looks. Of course, Jason ain't believing it. He just like, girl, like, girl, you ain't even got to lie. Just tell me what's going on, you know. And Nema's just like, you know, like, listen, it is what it is. But eventually Jason does fall in line because Jason is a detective. And he is the lead, he's one of the detectives on this murder that Nema is also trying to solve. And it's like the more he's around her, the more he starts to see things. He can't see demons. Humans in LL Farmer's world, humans can't see demons. But when he enters certain spaces, when he's with Nema, he notices a shift in the air. You know, there's a change in the atmosphere. And then things are happening to him and things that he is seeing like in his face, and he's just like, okay, all right, girl, all right, all right. So he eventually falls in line because eventually through his story, he also becomes one of the people to help Nema. And Nema is very averse to seeking help outside of Raina. You know what I mean? She's just like, you know, because during this story, she was just like, we can work together. She wanted Jason to work with her, but she didn't want to work with Jason. It was truly hilarious. But, you know, so again, for me, the telling of the story and the world building of the story is great. I like the jumps from the past to the present, because those jumps to the present, we are learning information about Nema, and then these ties, these moments in history that are in the story. The author does says at the end of the book that yes, she takes liberties with these moments of history, but these are moments that really happened. You know, this slave rebellion, when Nema was a slave, and during this current time with her, excuse me, solving this murder, her and Jason trying to solve this murder, it ties to a time in the 60s in Mississippi where, you know, black people were trying to vote, and state violence was being done to them because they were trying to vote. This murder ties during that time. This current murder ties to another murder during that time. So, you know, it's these moments in history that LL Farmer incorporates inside of the story is really, really well done, and it just flows really well with this story of this warrior demon hunter. It just, you know, it just goes together really, really well. Enjoyed it. Great world building. Love the characters. Nema is such a enigmatic character, right? We have this centuries, not centuries, but this you know, this woman or this girl that has been alive for centuries, you know, almost 3 centuries, and she's in this body of this 18-year-old girl, and she's thrust into this world of this paranormal world of hunting demons. And she had to learn, you know, with the help of Raina, you know, and her ancestors and the people that are going to come after Raina, you know, with the help, she's learning everything on her own. There are some things I felt that we didn't learn, like what happened to Nema's mother. We get her interactions with Nema in the beginning, you know, in those past jumps. But what happened to her, I'm quite sure we'll find out more in the other books, but it's like in this first book, you know, it's just like what happened to her mother. There's also another character that was part of Nema's past, Priest, the man who was Nema's lover, you know, during the past, and who created these weapons for her that she fights with now. You know, we assume that he's dead, but by the end of this book, we're just like, oh, maybe not, maybe he's not dead. So, you know, where, you know, what's going on with Priest, where he at, who was Priest. There was a lot of information, people in her past, that I felt like in a book that we didn't get enough about. But again, because this is a series, we'll probably find out more about these people in, you know, the books that are out now. Again, there are 4 books. So just a very interesting story. I just loved it. But for me, what worked was the moments in history and those time jumps. They were just great. She just really did a really good job with that. You know what I mean? Because, you know, you can go inside of these stories, you know, whether they're full length or not. And a lot, especially with paranormal, in a paranormal genre, a lot of things can be left out. But me going inside this first book now, it's good to know that there are 4 other books after this. So, you know, but love Nema, love the side characters, Jason, Raina, her niece, you know, Liz. Like, I think these are people that we're going to see in the other books as well, and I'm excited. Already downloaded the second book, y'all, because I don't know when I'm going to read it, but I'm going to read it. But yeah, very good book. I like that. I mean, for like the first book of the series, really well done. There are some editing issues, not a lot, not, you know, not enough to take away from the story, but there are some editing issues, and, you know, some grammatical errors, you know, some run-in sentences, you know, but again, for me, it wasn't enough to take away from that story. Like, the story was just that engaging. Loved it. But yeah, you should check it out. These books are on Amazon. They are part of the Kindle Unlimited program. But yeah, I mean, if you're part of Kindle Unlimited, but yeah, if you don't have KU, you know, find a book buddy, see if they have it, and borrow, you know, see if you can borrow it. Great series. Well, great book. I like it. And shout out to I Read Black Books on here on Instagram. If not for her, I would never have found out about this book. So shout out to you, girl. Appreciate it. And that is it for me, because I probably feel like I'm going to start rambling. And that is it. Until the next one. Later days. Bye.